USACE Europe District Program Brief. That's going to happen around 12. But first, we're going to start with some post business. So starting with a summary of our events from 2023. We do this meeting annually. We like to cover, how we served our engineering community the previous year, and we get updates from all of our board members and the programs that they ran for what they accomplished last year, the year ahead. Yeah, we install our new officers for 2024, and then we get into a few updates from Kaiserslautern Post, who's here, and our Europe regional leaders that are here. Then we have the Europe District Brief. And then we're free to hang out in the room until 2 p.m. If there's any food left. Next slide, please. Okay. So when I assumed this role of post president in January 2022, I stated our post vision was to advance technical knowledge of both public and private sectors and to utilize them in a collective defense of NATO interests against man-made and natural hazards. Our post accomplished this by 4 main efforts: technical presentations that improved our required skills, industry government engagements that addressed our shared challenges, STEM activities that encouraged the next generation of engineers, and last but not least, fun at our social events. That's simple yet quality time together to build solidarity. The 12+ programs we had of 2023 and the 12+ we had of 2022 serve true to our mission. We have excellent board of post leaders who share these values and made this vision a reality. Our success is evident from the monthly events you see on these next 2 slides. You can keep this slide here. And the previous one, please. But it's also recognized nationally. Our post was the sole winner of SAME's Industry Government Engagement Award last May, and also the year before. You can see some of the photos of these awards, of some of our teams together, and us handing out the scholarships at our fun golf event. And you can see a summary here of the monthly meetings that we had, just from the post leaders that put it together, but all of our engaged community. So you see the technical topics, you see the addressing of joint challenges with government and industry together. So I thank all of the engaged members who are the life of the post and our reliable board members who volunteer their time to lead these excellent programs. So you can slip to the next slide, please. Yeah. So please join me in applause for all of our accomplishments at the last year. Thank you. Next slide, please. So here's a summary of all those leaders that did put together the program in 2023. There's the names, and then on the right, these are the leaders who will be serving for 2024. At the end of our post brief, we will have a change of officers ceremony to install them. But this is so you have their names. Next slide, please. Now I'll move into the post business updates from all of our officers. First being Brian Olsen, please.
Next slide, please. The last time we did a survey of members here in the Rhein-Main Post was, I think, 2019. A lot has happened since then. We had a pandemic. We went to hybrid meetings. We've been online. We've developed the industry government engagement process. So we are just opening up a new survey. You will see on the tables QR codes. So this survey will be open for the next 2 or 3 weeks. We encourage everybody to go in and have a look. It should take about 6 minutes to complete. Really would like to see what it is that excites you about SME, what you think we should be doing to give us some feedback and input on those programs. Next slide. As Scott mentioned, we have been successful in the last 2 years in winning the SAME National Industry Government Engagement Award for the Post. It's only been given for 2 years, and for the first 2 years, Rhein-Main Post awarded that. So needless to say, we're putting in a nomination again this year. Maybe 3 years will be enough. We also submit applications for the post streamer. SMA has quite a rigorous system for scoring us. This year we are looking at almost 3,000 points. We only need 1,000 points. So again, that's 1,000 points more than we had last year. So again, it's testament to all the work that's put into this post by the board members, by the volunteers, by the members, and everybody that makes it work. Okay, next one.
Yeah, next slide, please. All right.
Thanks, Scott. I'm Tim Conley. I put together the programs for our post, and this year and this event is really the culmination of a lot of hard work that went in by the board to put this together. It's tremendous to see you all, so thank you all for coming. We put together a framework for our presentations for the coming year. We have a number of open spots and an open topic, so I would invite anybody who's interested in presenting or putting together a program, please reach out to me and I'll help you put that together. You'll see that in the list of programs. I won't go through them, but we have a number of open spots here, so whoever's interested to participate, please reach out to me and I'll help plug you into that. So thank you very much.
Next slide, please. Yeah. And I would just add to what Tim said is that, and what Brian said is when we did this survey a few years ago, we helped tailor our program from that, where we're going to have the meetings that's convenient to all, our broad group, and the topics that we're going to have them. Obviously, the topics that you provided us were useful, and as we see with the awards and our attendance. So the membership that we're putting out today, please scan the QR code or just take a photo of it now and do the survey later, because it's going to help us give you a better program in the years to come. So next slide, please.
I'm short. Thank you, Scott. Okay, for the membership program, we have first of all to thank all the individual members and the companies that have followed us into 2023. So I think they deserve a big round of applause because we wouldn't be here wasn't for your support. So that's very much appreciated. It was a successful year. We have a total of 215 members, and we thank you again for your support. And we invite those who haven't renewed already to do it soon. And then we want to see for the next slide that our sustaining companies, we have 31 companies that support the post, actually from 28 when we started with last year. So it was a very good accomplishment. And again, we thank you for that. And we just want to continue your engagement and see you supporting and participating and make this post a successful one. Thank you again.
Slide, please. This is just logos from all of our sustaining members. Next slide, please. Right, Brian. Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Brian Weinrecht, and I'm the post treasurer. I'm good at math. So anyways, I just want to give you a summary of what we did in 2023. So and then give you an outlook for 2024 and what we expect. So we actually had a little bit more scholarship money than we expected. So we were able to give $3,500 away in scholarship money. So you saw a picture of one of the recipients earlier. And I said this last year, but scholarships for these high school kids going into college, it really encouraged them a lot. I'm a civil engineer because I got a $500 scholarship. So it's near and dear to my heart. So then we also supported STEM initiatives. And then for the 2024 outlook, I have $2,000, for scholarships, but, hopefully we get more. You can see an asterisk by our golf tournament, that costs us some money, but, we anticipate getting money back. And so last year, we had more than we expected, so we were able to give more money away. And then also today's event, it costs money. So thank you everybody for your support. But as we get more money, we can support more STEM initiative and more scholarships. So thank you very much. Next up is Nick.
Hey, good morning, everybody. So I am the board member for the Young Professionals Leadership and Mentoring function of the board, which really mostly we try to do networking. It's kind of a hit-all function for all of those things. So if you are looking, my primary role here is to be a resource for anybody who is looking for mentoring information or mentoring guidance, and then trying to build a leadership program within our post. And then, like I said, our most important function. So this is back in, when was this, June? September. So this was just the mixer we had. It was down at Brewdog, and it just was a chance to bring a whole bunch of people together, especially the young professionals community. Sammy kind of loosely defines that as under 40, but if you feel young, I'm never going to turn anybody away. So it's a really important function. I think it's even more important now than it was in the pre-pandemic era, because we've lost a lot of the automatic function of networking that happened when everything had to be in person. So we do try to make a point within the Rhein-Main post of putting together a couple times a year an opportunity just to bring out industry and government and our customers, and get folks together outside of a work function when really it's only just there to catch up and network a little bit. If you go to the next slide, please. This is my usual slide. There's a bunch of stuff on there that's all highlighted or super linked. If you can't get the super link to work, please just reach out to me and I'll send you the information too. SAME has a lot of fantastic resources out there for people. If you're trying to get your professional licensure or your registered architect licensure, or there are several other maybe less common ones that SAME can still help with. So there's a lot of support out there for that. There's guidance on trying to set up mentoring programs or leadership programs within your companies, or how to do that if you're in the government side within your organizations. And then again, the most important thing that I have to say today is our next Young Professionals social event. We're planning on going to the Mines game on, I think, the 16th of March. So pencil that in, and then you will see coming out through the SAME distribution some information on what that will be and how to set up getting either reserve for tickets or how to get your own tickets. We're not exactly sure how it's going to work, but more to come, and we're looking forward to it. That's all I had. So.
It doesn't have to be a Lions fan. Please.
Next up is Britta and Ken together.
Am I doing this one?
Yeah.
Sure. Sure, why not?
Two.
Okay. So first I want to say thank you to everyone for your donations today. I see the scholarship fund growing, so that was really wonderful to see. We had the opportunity to support a number of events this year, or last year, it's 2024, Britta. In 2023, Ken and I actually got to go to Wiesbaden High School, where we spent about 3-4 hours with the STEM Academy there. Talking about what it is that we do on a day-to-day basis when we're not with SAME. Had a lot of great students come through the different presentations, ask a lot of great questions. So wonderful to be able to support them, and we will be continuing to support them. Had a STEM Ramstein High School with the Kaiserslautern Post that we were able to support as well. And then, of course, our scholarships. And I was really excited to see the caliber of the applicants last year. We only got to award 3 scholarships, but boy, were they pretty impressive. Our top 3 ended up going to the Air Force Academy to study engineering. The other applicants went to Columbia to study nuclear engineering, and then the third is studying architecture at the University of England in Bristol. So some really great applicants, and we're looking forward to those that come this year. Next slide, please. Right, I got to put glasses on. Sorry, I've gotten to that point in life where I can't see without them. All right, I got to remind myself what was on the slide. All right, so our application for this year is open. It closes on the 29th of March. So if you know of any high school seniors who are deserving of this scholarship, please encourage them to go to our website and click the link and download the application. It's not too long pretty easy to fill out, but it does require some supporting signatures and information. So the sooner they go after it, the sooner they can turn it in, they won't miss the deadline. We will be awarding the scholarships in May at the golf tournament. We'll be making our selection in April, and we'll be notifying the students because we found it was a really great experience for them and their family members to actually participate in the golf tournament. So we hope to do that again this year. And then I think this is you coming up?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Gonna tag team.
Next slide, please. So thanks, Ken Staley. Yeah, I had the great fortune to meet several nonprofits in 2023 from Ukraine. One of them is a nonprofit named STEM is Femme. We made a donation to them last year during our golf events, which I'll talk about later. But one of our next events, our STEM events, will actually be a dual virtual classroom meeting between STEM is Femme in Ukraine. They have about 500 students in their organization, and STEM Wiesbaden High School. So, and the STEM is Femme members, actually, even though they're from Ukraine, they're actually currently located across many countries. And there will be a guest speaker as well. So that's it. Next slide. Okay, this is, yeah. So this will be my 11th year setting up the golf tournaments here for the Rhein-Main Post. So last year's event, the theme was Ukraine. We did make, these are some photos from the event. And as you can see below, I've listed, I don't even remember all of the themes that we had in the last 11 years, but if you haven't played golf in a cowboy hat or sombrero, then you should come out, because we don't play golf in khakis and polo shirts. You can go do that somewhere else. Next slide. This year's theme is NATO. So each person that comes is to represent, these are some photos from some of the past events, but this year's theme is NATO. Each person is going to represent a different country. I have not decided yet which country I'm going to represent, but the sooner you sign up, the more countries that are available. So please keep the date in mind, 24th of May, and that's it. Next slide.
Hi, I'm Chandler Ogden. I'm the lead for publicity, outreach, and website. I do this in cooperation with Sharice and Scott. They both helped out. This is one of those things that happens in the background to try to keep all the information flowing out to you. A couple things that we've done this year. The biggest thing has been the very slow, tedious changeover to the new website. That's pretty much done. So if you try to go to classic.same.org/Rhein-Main, it'll now tell you to go to the regular site. So we've pretty much fully transitioned. We've added some of the things, and one of the things that has taken us a bit of time on that was wanting to make the availability of the same thing that we see the most value coming out to you. So recording of meetings like this, the media archive is something that we've really found a lot of interest in. People go back, we look at the website data. People still go look at it months and months after we have the event. So we're very much focused on trying to have that, and that's now available on the new site. So go check out the new site if you hadn't already. Second bit, Sharice sends out the news flash right around the 1st of every month. We try to send another email blast in the middle of the month. If you're not getting those and you want to get those, you manage that through your SAME member account, and you have to opt in to receive those. So if you're not getting those and you want to receive spam from the organization, go ahead and sign up. That's one of the easier ways to have it come into your inbox. And obviously, you can always go back to the website. We post events like that as well, regularly there as well. And finally, just the point about having the link to YouTube, link to the posted slide decks from things like that. Those are all available in the media archive. If you have anything that you think we should add to the website, we've kind of figured out how to add sections where we need them. go ahead and shoot me a note, and I'm happy to see if we can accommodate anything that gives more value to you, the member. Thanks.
Thank you, Chandler. Next slide, please. So after 2 terms of post president, I'm stepping down into a supporting role to support all the board members that you just heard from and some fresh leadership as president. But before I do so, I naturally would like to give a bit of recognition and thanks to our awesome team. So first of all, Britta, could you please come forward? So as we'll see in the change of officers, Britta is stepping down as STEM. I guess we can go out here. So. Just the camera. So these are for you, Britta. So I guess they want the photo op over here. So I don't need to talk too much. You saw the accomplishments, but the little more context to it is that there's a lot of changeover in Europe. Positions are always coming and going. Maybe I should be next. It's fine. So there was a little bit of a gap in someone in the STEM position. But when Britta came, it's enough coming to a new country, and a new position, but she then also assumed this role right away. And she was very involved to get the program reinvigorated. We had quite a few events the previous year, and then of course a great success this last year. Every month you always had something to do for it. You always had nice updates, and we've given good scholarships, and now even better, we've had these engagements with the classrooms. And then Ken, as we saw, has kind of taken this natural initiative with STEM, and so he's offered to then step in as this transition point. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
For the flowers, they're from our board.
Thank you. And you're a good Ken.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is, I'll go back here. Chris, please come up. So Chris, as you might recall, is our VP for membership. Again, he's just last year, right? Well, no. 2 years now?
No, it's the second.
Yeah, this is the second year. Yeah. Yeah, but it was about a year ago. You came
I just
into the
stepped in,
position. Yeah. And same thing. It was a bit of a gap in support we needed. We were managing it, but then everything else was suffering. But same thing. The day he showed up, he was very eager to get involved, and he had a very noticeable impact with engaging with all our members, keeping everything straight, and then and everything else where we needed help throughout the year. So thank you for your role as VP for membership. Thank you for your role as just an engaged board member leading the post. And thanks from the whole room of getting everyone on base. He's the one that coordinated all the access. This is our biggest event of the year. It's a lot of work for him to get through the year. So yeah, please thank him. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And then Sandy, could you please come forward? Yeah, that's all right. So Sandy and Jessica are not, Jessica is unfortunately online, I hope, because she had COVID. But yeah, they're not on the board, but they've been very important to our meetings and our success of the last years. After COVID, we transitioned to this hybrid theme. We saw the value in streaming it and then capturing the videos. And every meeting, someone has to set all this complicated equipment up, get it working well before the meeting, and handle it. So Sandy and Jessica have been doing this for years now, but they're always in the background behind the camera. And I just want to give them a little recognition for your work doing that. So this is for you. It's a fitness.
Thank you, Scott.
Yes, Jessica, glad you made it. All right. So with that, we will now transition to our post officers for 2024 installation. So will Chris Knudsen, who is our SAME Europe Regional Vice President, please come forward. There he is. And all of our officers.
All right, so before we do the official piece of this and we do the oaths of office, just first off, let's just do another round of applause for this outstanding team. Most of them are out, some of them are outgoing, a lot of them are coming back again, but just an outstanding job of pulling all these events together. Round of applause. As the new round of officers, and we'll do the president and the president-elect in just a moment come in. I think we're probably living at a point in time that is the most active for military engineers in Europe in, what would you say, a couple decades, back to the mid 80s. I mean, it's, if you think about what the Europe district is working with and dealing with, we've got two active conflicts that are going on in the AOR between what's going on in Ukraine, what's going on in Israel. There's a resurgence of investment that's taking place, finally by many of the other countries here in Europe, percentages reaching towards that magic 2%. And what that means for all of us that are in the AEC industry is that it's time for us to continue to do what we're doing, but to step up and to do as much as we can, working with the Corps, with the other delivery agents that are out here. That takes partnership, and it also takes engagement between industry and government, which is what we're doing here today. And everyone that's in this room and that's part of the board and post officers for the Rhein-Main Post are to be commended for the work that they've done and being able to pull us together. And we'll hear a little bit more later about an event taking place at the end of next month. Many of us will be there for that. Another opportunity for all of us in military engineering to come together, talk about what we can do to be able to support our mission partners and those that have to go out there and make things happen. So we'll be talking more about that. I just wanted to share that with you. And with that, we'll do the official post officer installment. If you could please raise your right hands. You pledge yourselves to support the Society's strategic plan and carry out faithfully the duties of the offices to which you have been elected or appointed. Yeah. Congratulations. All right. Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. You want to come over this way so that I can get a light in their face? There we go. So we'll do it that way. All right.
In the middle.
And we'll have you in the middle. There we go. All right. So if you raise your right hand, please. You pledge yourself to support the Society's strategic plan and carry out the duties of the president of the Rhein-Main Post to the best of your ability. I do. Congratulations. I declare you now the post president. Yeah, you take care of them. Don't lose them. Don't go away. All right. Congratulations. Thank you.
Scott, come back here. So, my first, I guess, official act as Post President is to say, Scott, thanks very much. For 2 years. I've been involved with the Rhein-Main Post off and on since 1997. We've seen, lots of changes. We've seen days when it's been hard to get people to turn out. We've seen downsizing. I think right now the Post is more vibrant than it's been any time I've been involved in it. And a lot of that is obviously due to all the volunteers, all the people that have been recognized. And also to Scott, last 2 years, fantastic job. Thank you very much. He's going to be the vice president, so don't worry about it. I can't screw things up too bad.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm aware that we want to, people want to get the main act. Before we do that, I'll invite Frank Lovett from the vice president of the Kaiserslautern Post. Just say a couple of words.
Hello, everyone. I am the Vice President of the Kaiserslautern Post, and I'm standing in for Colonel Richard Martin, who unfortunately his father-in-law passed away. He and I was going to ride it together, but please keep him and his family in your prayer. Also, the Vice President of Military is Lieutenant Colonel David Austin. He couldn't make it as well. Do we have anybody else from the Kaiserslautern board that's here? I know Josh James was here. Eric Austin. If y'all can join me up here right quick, if you don't mind. It's going to take a couple of minutes. The Carter Post wouldn't be where it's at without the Rhein-Main Post. Rhein-Main Post is our biggest support. Outgoing board members, thank you so much for your positions on the board. Incoming board members, thank you for your support. And you're going to understand that we work together as a team, as a partnership between the Rhein-Main Post and College Starting Post. We wouldn't be successful as we are without your involvement. Scott, thank you so much. Sometimes, you know, listening in at y'all meetings is like being at our meetings as well. Here we have Josh Dane. I have to point him out. When we talk about all the accomplishments that Post do, one of the main things is STEM. And College Starting has had a very robust STEM program. And this is thanks to Josh Dane here. He's utilities truth. And he's on our board as the was the STEM and not sector. But that STEM event that was highlighted was about 400 and something folks that were a part of it. And he's a big part of that, as well as Ken helping out as well too. So these two posts blend in together on a lot of stuff. Eric, he's a part of our programs and have set us up for success with having valuable things to listen into and talk about from our posts. I just wanted to highlight the folks that's here as part of the College Starting Post. Other things that we wanted to put some, we had a very robust golf tournament, which we raised a lot of funds. Thanks for y'all support too, Rhein-Main. Two of the other things I want to point out, we had two fellows selected from the College Starting Post. That's a Colonel Retired Scott Matthew and Chief Master Sergeant Adam Bubaday. So that doesn't happen overnight. That takes at least 10 years of commitment to the post. Many of those years that those two members have been committed work to the College Starting Post, but not just College Starting Post, but supporting Rhein-Main. You have a big footprint in helping those folks become fellows for all of posts as well. Some of the other things that we've accomplished, we had a solid year of programs every month, thanks to our program leads. And we're looking forward to this year, 2024, with other things on the agenda. So please tune in as we have our monthly meetings. We try to deconflict with the Rhein-Main Post. Our monthly meetings usually on Thursday, the third Thursday of the month, and that's when we have our meeting. So anything that I missed, I know we got STEM coming up.
Sir, yeah, so then we have engineering week coming up. It's what, the 21st through the 26th?
Yeah.
And we have events every day that week. So
we'll put some notifications out there. So if you want to come down to the College Starting Post and help us out, be a volunteer, please do so. And once again, I just want to thank Rhein-Main Post for giving us the opportunity to introduce ourselves. And thank you so much for the support that you've always provided to us. And I love the partnership that we have. And I'm pretty sure, Ryan, we've been working together for years. He was part of College Starting Post, so I don't think anything's going to change. So thanks a lot. And congratulations to all the new members that got elected. So.
thank you.
Thanks, Frank. And I'll invite Chris Knudsen, European Regional Vice President for the SAME.
Thanks, Brent. So I won't take up too much time. I'm going to let Cherise talk and take the balance of my time. But the one thing I do want to mention is watch this space. So we've got the Rhein-Main Post, very, very vibrant. Kaiserslautern Post, very, very vibrant. There is a UK Post, and we'll be working a little bit more on that one to get that a little more vibrant than it is, so you can start hearing more about that. But I'm happy to announce today, I'll do it publicly. We're still waiting for the paperwork to work through, and I want to thank Frank and Colonel Martin at Kaiserslautern Post for their support. But we are going to be standing up this year a field chapter in Poland. So that's new. Chris Wilkes, I don't know if he's not here, maybe he's here virtually. Chris Wilkes, many of you know who he is. He's been part of the SAME community for a number of years. He has volunteered to take the presidency of that. And so watch the space. There'll be more information coming out once we get the charter signed and the official administrative stuff taken care of. But we'll be announcing some information that'll be coming out to get that up and running. So I think that's a great thing, and an opportunity for us to extend SAME into Poland, where there's quite frankly a lot going on. So we look forward to seeing that come up. Cherise, why don't you tell us about the small little event going on down in Naples?
Well, I get to be the first one to say good afternoon, everyone. It's great to have so many people here. This is a good event. And we've got an even better one coming up at the end of February. And this is a tri-service Industry Government Engagement Workshop in Naples, Italy. Next slide. So there were some QR codes that were around where you can register, but there's also registration there. This is the next slide. So this was a great quote by Barry Forbes, and NAFAC Your Ascent is the one that is organizing this event. And it's a great opportunity to hear from current and future partners about the processes that are currently being used when working with us here in Europe. This engagement can help us be more innovative as we look for ways to improve our processes and programs to execute our mission support to our fleet and to our nation's strategic goals. So who's coming to this thing? NAFAC, AFIMSC, USACE, UCOM, AFRICOM, and you. And what are you going to learn? We're going to get an overview of the theater-wide common operational picture, upcoming opportunities, which I know you're all interested in, particularly the AECs in the room, from Air Force, NAFAC, USACE, and Middle East District. There'll be some technical sessions on ATFP, cybersecurity, and AI in design and construction. And there'll be some IGE, Industry Government Engagement Roundtables. We've got 4 of those set up on economic considerations, planning through design, host nation challenges, and CPARS evaluations. And you'll be able to join these. These will be, half-day events where we can, state the problem. What are some of the challenges? What are solutions to get through some of the hurdles and challenges? So I hope that you will join us in Naples. Thank you.
Chris. There we go, again. All right, so we do have a couple of regional level recognitions that we want to make here. I'm going to ask Sharice if he can please come up. And Ryan, can you please join us?
Yeah. Do you have it? Yeah. Oh.
So I'll let you go ahead and take care of that.
So you guys met Brian Weibrecht earlier, and I am super proud to make the RVP medal award to him. Brian has always been engaged in the Rhein-Main Post. He's been very active. He stepped up and volunteered as a young professional. He led that committee, and now he's the Post treasurer. He keeps the Otis Eng and the whole military engineering community engaged and informed about the events that we have going on. He was a graduate of the Leader Development Program, SAME National Program in 2022. And I'm really proud to award the medal to you today.
That's right. You got to wear it when you go back to the office. And at the gym today. At the gym. All right, can we ask Chandler Ogden to please come forward, and Scott, please join me up here. All right, so there's a lot of positions that people work within SAME that are behind the scenes, and quite frankly, if they didn't get done, we wouldn't know what was going on. So you already heard from Chandler talking earlier about the work that he does on outreach and working in the back end on the website, where we all go to get information, where we all go to get copies of the briefings or go back and watch them. Thank you. That stuff is it's administrative work. You're doing it because other people don't want to. We appreciate you volunteering to continue on and do that. And so it's a small token of appreciation from the regional level because it helps all of us. We want to give you not only just a regional vice president's coin, but I think Scott, you might want to fill in a little bit on the extra health and safety considerations he's going to have to take.
It's not a Ninja Star. It's an old bike cassette. So just like the teeth on a gear are, always moving, they keep us moving every month. So are his announcements and website super important for us moving through every month. So
Thanks so much.
being a bicycle enthusiast. Oh, yeah.
Thanks for a little bit of your patience in all those important announcements and recognitions. We now come to our main speaker, Commander of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Europe District, Colonel Kent. Yeah. So Colonel Kent holds a Bachelor of Science in Biology from the University of Michigan.
Go blue. Go blue. I'm sorry.
Master of Science in Engineering Management from the University of Missouri-Rolla, and Master of Science in National Security Strategy from the National War College. He assumed command of the Europe District in July 2023. Prior to that, he was assigned to U.S. Army Europe and Africa, where he served as Director of Operations in the Security Assistance Group Ukraine. In this role, he coordinated security assistance to the armed forces of Ukraine. So he's your man for Europe. So,
all right, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here with you all today. Like you said, I've been in command of the Europe District just since July. It's been a great pleasure. And today I'm going to give you a quick overview of the district, and then we'll hand it off to Mr. Lalatwadwa, who will talk you through our programs brief, which is really the meat of this. And so I'm going to go through this material deliberately fast in order to leave a lot of time for Lala and the meat of the brief. If we can go to the next slide, please. So this is that is not the next. I mean, that might be the next slide. Surprise. All right. So the next slide really talks our mission and vision, and I'm going to just talk it real fast. So really what the Europe District does is provide a suite of services, engineering, real estate, and construction in support of EUCOM, AFRICOM, and the state of Israel. Of note, our support to the state of Israel is entering a state of change. So the chief of engineers decided last week, Thursday, what we're going to do is we're going to deliberately transition the Israel program from NAU to the Transatlantic Division, who is aligned with CENTCOM. So a lot of logic behind doing that. That's going to be a fairly heavy lift for both, our higher headquarters, us, and then the Transatlantic Division as they catch it. How exactly the timeline for that, everything plays out, it's a little early to say, but we do expect that by the beginning of fiscal year 25, the Israel program will be with Transatlantic Division. What is that? Is that a cat? That's awesome. All right. Maybe it'll just come on the whole time as we go. All right. So, and then our vision is delivering solutions to the region's toughest challenges. So if we go to the next slide, please. No cat. All right. So we'll start with the map on the right. At the 90-day mark, I owed a overall assessment to the chief of engineers, and kind of what I led off with is the kind of some leading points or strategic context was that our area of operations covers 27% of the Earth's landmass, 27% of the Earth's population. It has the major conflicts that Chris alluded to earlier with Israel, which is soon to be spiraling to the broader Middle East, the Ukraine, and then much of Africa is also in turmoil, and there's often conflict in the Sahel. So no pressure. If you look at our snapshot of our profile there, we've got about 500 employees. Our target is about 700. So we are certainly looking to grow, and our hiring is one of our top priorities. We're in 14 countries with field offices, and we're doing work in 46 of them. And then down there at the bottom, you see our total program is $10.1 billion that we're touching somewhere between design and construction. That number continues to grow. I think when I came in July, we were at about 8.6. And so to give you it just gives you an idea for the rate of growth in the portfolio. And then last year, it was a record for us in contract awards. Our chief of contracting sitting there in the back really helped carry the water on this. But we ultimately, when the dust settled, I think we hit $1.5 billion in awards last year. We go to the next slide, please. This slide has a lot of words, and I promise not to brief all of them, but it's there really as a reference or a start point for you if you're going to do work in a new country. There's a lot of nuance, and it'll be important, I think, to have contextual understanding as you move into new places. It's certainly something that we're well postured to help with. Next slide. Okay, so $10.1 billion program, like where is that at or how is it broken out? So really it falls in three big buckets. The enduring base support, that's the support you would expect to garrisons. We've got 8 garrisons, 4 Air Force bases. Our security cooperation portfolio is in 25 countries, and that work is almost exclusively in support of EUCOM and AFRICOM. It's about 10% of the program. And then our forward basing and posture, the things that create military readiness, the infrastructure that you would expect to support that, about 30% of our portfolio. Next slide, please. Okay, so here we just highlight the slides on the pictures on the left, and which is our support to EUCOM. So that first one there, Roger Vogler sitting right back there. Roger, raise your hand. So Roger's there in that picture. Now you can make that connection. But so he was at the ribbon cutting for us at Camp Thursday of the aircraft hangar. That's part of our broader European Deterrence Initiative program. And then the other picture there on the left is a groundbreaking in Powice, Poland for a deployable airbase system. Those are the new raids. We're building them in a lot of countries right now. But this particular one is part of the Polish provided infrastructure program. Next slide. So to highlight our support for AFRICOM, we'll start with that large picture there in the center. So the A-29 bed down was probably the largest project in recent memory for sure that we've done in Africa. That's our division commander, General Lloyd, speaking at the ribbon cutting there. And then in the bottom right, that group of pictures represents our humanitarian assistance portfolio, which is really indicative of most of the work that we do in Africa. We go to the next slide. Okay, so it's off the bomb holder. Some of you are probably infinitely familiar. If you're not, though, so what it is this idea of moving soft forces out of the Stuttgart footprint and into the bomb holder footprint. That does a couple of different things. So one, it relieves pressure on the garrison in Stuttgart, like their overcapacity on a number of their services as well as their facilities. And it puts SOF in a place where they're co-located with training ranges, the operations facilities, and then also near Ramstein from a power projection standpoint. And so our part of that on the top there in bold, 40 renovation projects, 22 new construction projects. And if you total what we're doing in support of SOF and the garrison, the total of that is about $1.3 billion. Next slide. Okay, so we covered the mission and vision up front, but this is really our approach to winning. And so if you go to the far right there, you'll see safely delivering quality projects on time and within budget is how the chief of engineers has defined winning. And that is our end state. We've got those 4 lines of effort to get us there. And that's all built on this strong and resilient foundation underpinned by respect, trust, and discipline. And if we go to the next slide, I'd like to forgo questions for now. Hand it off to Lalit as we'll step through the programs portion, and then we'll take questions at the end. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our Chief of Programs and our Deputy DPM, Mr. Lalit Bhagwat.
Okay. Can you all hear me? I don't have any cats planted in my briefing. Yeah. Hey, nice to see you all. And as the protocol goes, before we get started, that's the way I grew up to the core, to recognize the senior most people in our group right here. So I want to recognize 3 people. And just raise your hand, sir. Major General Tony Funkhauser, and Major General John Kem, and Brigadier General Margaret Burchell right there. So welcome to you all. So glad to have them all here. The main thing I wanted to talk about is like, this is about partnering, right? We're here to partner, and of course, you all are here hungry for work. You want to work. So we want to share that information with you, and this is a two-way street. And like Ken said, we can hold the questions to the end, but I would say that if you have a question dying, ask the question right away. So I would like to start so that everybody has situational awareness. Please raise your hands. How many are architect engineer firms in here? Raise your hands. Okay. How many are construction firms here? Okay. How many are both design and construction? Okay. Got it. Excellent. So what we're going to see today, right, is the situational awareness of what the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is doing currently. You heard that from the commander here. Well, we're going to break it down into some pie charts here, which some of you have written to me directly, like, yeah, you know what, I'd like to see this, I'd like to see that. So we have captured some of it. And the other thing I want to point out, I'm overlooking something. Please raise your hands from USACE, from U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, please, so that you can recognize that we got program managers, we have chief of engineering, chief of contracting, we got PAO and chief of ENC, and program manager here. So I just want to make sure that they are available to you, and we can have deeper conversation afterwards. Let's go next slide, please. Okay, this is our mission. I won't read into it. I did not take away FMS yet. It just happened last week, and it's still with us. Like Ken alluded to, we'll be transitioning from NAD to TAD, and so there'll be a transition plan that Army does, and it's going to take some time or whatever, and we'll keep you posted. If you have any questions, please let us know. Next. All right, so this is where we are located. We keep updating this because we keep evolving as we go along. Close to 500 plus people. And as you can see, we have area engineers. Our district headquarters is in Wiesbaden, Germany. Same as before, Amelia Earhart, and in the near future, it's going to stay there. But we'll be going into some kind of an upgrade to life safety issues, addressing that in our building. Okay, the design has started through the German government, so it's a big, challenging project for us in our building that we got to figure out. But this is where we are roughly, 500 plus employees, and we have area engineers, resident engineers, project offices all over the place. Let's go next. So you see that what Ken talked about, 10.1 billion, that is like at any given time, planning, design, award, construct, close out. Okay, these are all active actions we have. And you can look at the breakdown there, the Milcon being the majority of it. And SRM, see, people don't realize, which are not, I mean, from leadership level when they come to Corps, they don't see that. Now they see in a facility investment program listing, but otherwise they're not aware that we're building 5 lodges here, right? 5, not 5 lodges, 5 NAT projects, like major, $300 million worth of stuff. People don't realize that. And we are doing the largest NSIP project outside, first time ever, direct, outside of Germany, which is in Poland, APS site, which is Eltism, we call it, and it's coming to a close very soon, next few months, which is a really flagship project, delivering that for USACE. Okay, let's go next. This is a non-Milcon. Is that what it says there?
No.
All right, let's go next, please. Okay, non-Milcon. That's what I was pointing out earlier on. You know, we are a military construction agent, but want to point out how much we do other than Milcon. And it's a huge program. You can see, you know, we're spending a lot of money doing FMS work, all that, and SRM work, et cetera, et cetera. Let's go next. we can skip the slide here because we already saw it earlier. The takeaway on the slide was every country is different. Okay, remember that. Every country is different. The standards are different. We're going to mention that right at the end. The host nation standards are different in Belgium versus Germany versus Poland versus Italy versus Turkey, all over the place, right? So everywhere we go, we start a little bit new and we do code compliances. And most of you know I'm just preaching the choir. That is super important. Let's go next. Oh yeah, look, there we go. So I just want to let you know one picture and touch wood. This has never happened before as long as I'm concerned. A mega project like this, this is rendering 8 years old and we're building it just like that. Okay, and nothing has changed. And the DNT in the back of the baby building there, and that's the clinic in the front and the parking garage in the back. Utilities are all done. The buildings are going up. And if you go by Rhein-Main, you can at Ramstein on the way to Ramstein, you can see it on the other side. And it's coming up like crazy. You should see about 15, 16 cranes out there. And the joint venture there is really a good job. Okay, this is being done through German government. But we are core as partner and DHA on the site. And this is like how many times, if you're an engineer, you have chance to build a hospital, okay? This is our bread and butter in the sense that this is once in a lifetime, and we're very proud of it. It's going smooth. I don't want to jinx it. Let's go next. Okay, so Colonel Ken alluded to software bomb holder, and these are kind of things that you all are looking for. These are nitty-gritty projects, details there. But overall, I mean, this will be posted, right, Tim? We're going to post it somewhere, so don't have to take notes as such. But basically, these projects are ongoing, okay, whether in design or in construction or closeout or being handed over. So a total of like, I'm guessing now, even though it says there, but 450 to $500 million worth of work we're going to award to industry, construction from 24 to 27, right? I mean, this year alone, we have 6 projects in memory and 4 skips. One is the parachute rigging facility. The other one is HPTC, the Human Performance Training Center. And we just keep on going. Those are Milcom projects I just mentioned. They're listed on here. But in addition to that, right, we're building an elementary school there. We just awarded that through the German government. Middle school is coming up. We're building a lodge direct. We went to the German government and told them, like, yeah, you have no capacity. We would like to build a lodge. And, you know, you guys designed it. We awarded it and we're building it. We're going to be very proud of it because it's going to be under our wing and we still have to get German government permits. But I just want to give you a little insight into how we are making progress in getting work accomplished because we are in a foreign country, right? And we really have to abide by the foreign rules. We cannot just bypass the permitting process or whatever, as we learned painfully on some of the projects. So I was just highlighting that project on bomb holder. Majority of the work in bomb holder, in Smith barracks, Wetzel barracks, or whatever, is direct. Okay, hardly anything indirect, because the German government there doesn't have resources. So we have some designs upcoming too. So I just want to plant the seed in your head that bomb holder work is going to be mainly direct. This is 24. I'll say my guess till 26. I don't think they'll have resources till then. And what we core do is we have through IMCOM agreement that what we call accelerated process, right? And this week, okay, I don't want to jinx it either, but this week we're going to raise the direct limit from 1.2 million euros to 6 million euros. That means we don't even have to talk to the Germans about it, right? It's going to be signed this week, which is a big, big deal. It used to be 370,000 euros. But in addition to that, projects like 50 million, 60 million, 30 million that we're doing, vehicle maintenance shop we're designing, the future barracks we're designing, it's all going to go direct, okay? Because the German government, either Oberstein, does not have resources, and we have actually gone to the Germans, got a bilateral agreement that yes, all these 20 projects you can go direct. We'll be awarding, design and award close to $500 million worth of direct work, which should have gone to the German government only a few years ago. It's a big, big accomplishment, okay? So why I'm telling you this? It is a super, super important thing. Most of you are designing those projects, right? Germans government are watching it very closely. They've told it. They told me directly, you can't do it. Meaning we can't get the permits right. But we proved them wrong in 3 or 4 projects or 5 or 6 projects already. We would like to keep it that way, right? So if you're looking for design work looking for, making sure that we complete a design project. So as you know, I'm preaching the choir, so just 30-second commercial. Make sure you start the design process, design permitting process as you go along. 35% is your milestone, where a majority of the permitting documentation needs to be submitted. So that by the time we finish the design, we have it mostly done. All right, we have found out several times, we left something out, afterwards we have to stop construction because we can't do something. So I just want to point out, it's new for you too. You've been doing it for the last 3-4 years, but we can always get better. Okay, we have awarded some contracts, unfortunately, without permits, and we shouldn't be doing that. Okay, let's go next. This is our proud DODIA program. I'll say that DODIA program, even though DODIA side will not agree with it 100%, but we are like 90% done. See all this here? We're going to award 4 to 5 projects this year through German government, close to $400 million this year. We already awarded 2, Balmore Elementary School and Launchtool Elementary School. The other 2 schools will be Clay Caserne here and the K-Town Middle School we have to award. So we are really turning over schools. You can see we turned over already 16. We're going to turn over another 1 this year if we can get it done in Brussels, which we will. And then it leaves, even though it says in design 9 projects, but only 3 are schools, building brand new schools. The other are like field houses. Okay, that's what we have. So if you have any questions, please let us know about the DODIA program, because we're delivering a first-class facility. Wherever you go, people just are amazed how we're doing it, meeting a 21st century school. And we have a proper process laid out, by the way. It's not a traditional indirect process. We do the first 15 to 20% direct, because we, the US, really don't know what the hell we want first. Then we turn it over to the Germans. And it's working out very nicely. Okay, with some, hiccups here and there, which is normal. And we as engineers are figuring it out as we go along. But very proud of the DODIA program. This is fantastic. If you haven't seen a school 21st century, please go visit it. Okay, next, please. All right, so it was discussed that the FMS program. Okay, this program isn't going away. I'm letting you know, because I got emails too when this was announced over the weekend. Last week, Thursday, Friday, by the chief. 2 people wrote to me and said, the program is going away. I said, no, it's just being transferred, right? So here's what I'll tell you. I'm trying to tell my note a little bit more. We, the Europe district, are going to keep on designing 3 or 4 projects we got in our hopper. We're not stopping there. So I'm talking to you, Chandler, where are you? Right there. Keep on doing KC and CH without hesitation, because we in NAU will complete those projects, okay? Who awards them is a different thing. We still got a year to go, or half a year to go, whatever. So I just want to make sure that you all know the Israel program is not going away. Israel program is there, vibrant. I even think it will be more, right, because of the conflict there. So that's the only thing I'll tell you. The CX program in KC is very important to us, very important to our allies, and they are probably getting the delivery earlier than what they thought they were. Okay, so not only we finish the design in time and do a quality product, but also deliver in time the completed bed down facilities. Okay, let's go next. Nathan, if you can come up here. Nathan, while he's walking up here, I'll tell you he's our chief of engineering, and he's going to walk you through next couple of slides, and these are really key slides, some of the stuff that you're looking for. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, thank you, Lolit. And I'm going to talk through our AE contracts that are coming up. So we had a fun year in AE contracting last year. I think around $200 million. We did over 220 some AE actions. So by far historically far above what we've done in the past. So huge year for us. I don't expect much different this year. Certainly, I was spent a lot of time this weekend on my trackers and forecast spreadsheets, and I think we already have 170 million in that area in the hopper. So certainly a big program this year. and also putting in a ton of base contracts, AE base contracts, catching up for that capacity that we need to support that workload. So you can see, you know, right at the top there is our plan for the Germany, Poland, Benelux area, and then add Norway and Denmark on the long-term contracts. So the top two we call the bridge. Those we needed to award a smaller contract there to as our current Germany, Poland, Benelux AE contract is expiring in June timeframe and getting low in capacity. We needed a bridge, a smaller value contract that we could get in place faster. So you should see solicitation coming out very soon on that. I think we have February there. I think early February, hopefully. So those should be out very, very soon. And we're hoping to award by May to keep things rolling for us and award task orders on it this fiscal year. You see that the top one is split into two. So MilCon and non-MilCon. We got a USACE headquarter ruling that we needed separate MATOCs because we can't award those MilCons over 500,000 to, it has to be to a U.S. firm. So the ruling was we had to put in split contracts there. But be aware, I mean, just because it's non-MilCon, someone's asking, does that mean it's small projects? No, it's not small projects. I mean, you saw from Lala that the SRM program is huge, and we do some major projects that are SRM. So it's not small projects, it's just non-MilCon money. Definitely, you know, I think U.S. firms should be interested in both of those, and then host nation firms can compete on the non-MilCon. So potentially having a few more firms on the non-MilCon list to account for that. And then the permanent ones will follow shortly after. Let's say in solicitation in March. I'm hoping we'll beat that. I'm hoping we'll beat that and get it out in February. But we're working hard on it, and those will be 249 million each, or 240 up there. And again, yeah, they'll include Norway and Denmark. The planning, mapping, and commissioning, those we're working. So solicitation's already gone out. We've received the responses. We're working those on our end and hoping to get those awarded here soon and award task orders on this fiscal year. Turkey and Africa are awarded. So that's what it looks like. And then looking to next fiscal year, I'm kind of forecasting we'll probably need to do Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary. That one's coming towards the end of its life cycle. And then also Italy, we may need more capacity in Italy. So that's one on our mind for next fiscal year as well for base contracts. Next slide, please. And then this is just a torn forecast. So just we send these out, and I'll try to keep them updated on our website. But just a forecast of torns we expect to come soon for AE task orders. And you can see a lot of variety of stuff there, planning, design, and mostly in Germany, but throughout a little bit. So you'll see these slides and can look through it closer. So that's what I have for AE contracting.
Any questions?
Any questions on it?
I want to leave it to the end. Thank you, Nathan. Let's go next. You know, before I get started there, before I forget, you know, last year when I stood up here, I was telling you that we were going to award projects and new territory. We're giving you another legacy territories, but new territories where we have not worked before. So we awarded project in Hungary, right? We're getting into Hungary. So that prediction came true, and we are setting up offices there in the process of doing that. Second one was Luxembourg. Okay, we have never worked in Luxembourg before. We awarded a large DAPS project in Luxembourg, and it's moving, and we are setting up office there too. And the third one that we have country coming up brand new is Norway. Okay, Norway is coming up, and we have a project you will see in a minute. It's a very simple project, fencing, but we have 4 large projects. We got the DABs there, and we have MSA there. MSA maybe in the back burner, but then we have this gravel bed down training area, whatever. So we are going into Norway. We have the green light. The DCA is nearly there. I think it's all there. We are going to Defense Cooperation Agreement, and the IA is below it. So we will be setting up offices there too. A place called Riga, RYGGE, pretty soon this year, so that we can have somebody there when the fancy project comes online. I just didn't have that in there. Just want to point out. If you can go back, please. Go back the slide. All the way forward. Yeah, I think we're running out of time. I agree with you that we got to finish. Yeah. No problem. Okay, so you will see the slide in blue there, and these are construction replacement for, keep going, please. Keep going. Yep, keep going. Keep going. Next. Stop right there. So the construction contractors who are here, who are interested in our job program, job order contracting program, we're running out of capacity this year. We have projected a certain amount of capacity that we have left, and we think that we'll probably run out of capacity, right? So these are replacement contracts that we are trying to accomplish, and you can see the dates. It takes a long time, and some people ask me, why is it taking a long time? But I'm gonna let you know that we have to go back and do a job price book and the specifications that go with the job price book, if you know what I'm talking about, right? Job program is like menu driven, cut and paste, and you agree with the number of hours or whatever. But behind that scene is a job price book and the specs. So it's a very lengthy process, and that process is taking time, right? We can talk during the break how we're doing it, but it's taking some time. But therefore, these job projects are per garrison or combined garrison. You have, Bavaria, Württemberg, Hessen, Rheinland-Pfalz, and Benelux. And then, of course, Italy and Poland we're going to replace. And Italy is the same way, running out of capacity and time. We only have, from memory, like $10, $11 million left, and runs out with the extension in November of this year. Then we have for Israel, prefab elements, which is going to be awarded also, IDIQ. And a MATOC. I'm talking about those who are MATOC, and Poland MATOC is going to come out. Let's go next. So I won't go into details with those, but this is the reason we came here, right? These are the projects we have upcoming for construction awards. Okay, construction awards that we plan to do it, and you can see the dates on the right. And so we're going to keep on going. Hungary project, the first two are going to be advertised. They were advertised last year, but we ran into a problem with the runway lighting. Runway lighting wasn't made, so we had to go back and modify our runway lighting, and those are the projects going to be coming up very soon. The PUL, we already have the bids in, and we go into the process of evaluating the bids. And the fence one I talked about in Norway, all those projects in the future. Now, Slovakia, right? So I'll tell you that Slovakia is ambitious here. It's ambitious because Slovakia don't have a crystal ball, but don't think they're going to happen that soon. They're going through the DCA process, and the government of Slovakia changed hands, and the prime minister is not to the U.S. liking or whatever. That's what people talk about, but we will see what happens. I'm like a policymaker. Projects are in design. We'll finish the designs and we'll see further. So more to follow. Let's go next. These are also direct projects, and projects that you see on there. I talked about earlier on. The bomb holder skiffs, if you see them there, they're like 4 skiffs, 1 contract. We're going to do that, and the communication annexes. The other one is the parachute reading facility. That's going to be coming out this year. And I talked about the others. So software bomb holder is a big, solid program. And you will see that these dates, I will tell you as much as if somebody doesn't do it, it's election year, somebody doesn't do wild, all the 24 are done deal. They're already there. The 25s and beyond are also going to be done, in my opinion. What I know of, but I'm not a decision maker, but those are heavy duty projects we got. Okay, these are all milk out. Let's go next. So these are best value contracting. These are projects for Israel, and I talked about the CH and the KC, which are the really the key projects that we got for Israel coming up for construction. But the others are also in future. But I heard the second from the bottom, the big one, may not happen. The Israelis might do it themselves using shekels. I don't know, but I'm just passing all the information to you. And the first one, ammunition facility, is under design, and that probably will happen. Let's go next. Okay, these are the small but very important projects, right? So UCOM commander engages with the countries out there, and we have HA projects, and we have all kinds of engagement projects to show our presence there, and we're helping our allies there. So these are small but very important projects. All these are funded to be obligated, awarded this fiscal year, all these projects in all those countries, in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. Okay, let's go next. AFRICOM, we have like these projects here, 6, 7 projects, all these different countries, also important for the OSCs and our UCOM partners to get this done. And I don't want to go into details, but these are all best value, very quick best value process that we do to award these contracts. Let's go next. Okay, now I'll tell you that it's so super important. Majority of the work that we do is indirect. In Germany, it's indirect, as you know. 60 to 70, sometimes 75% indirect. I'll say it again like a broken record. We have forged the relationship with our German government partners in Berlin and Bonn that we, the US, would like to take a hash at design and construction. So we send sometimes our people to the board. We don't have a voting rights there, but very influential. If we speak up, they are thinking twice before we award that to that particular AE. So some of you have done that. Some of you have gotten contracts in Germany because you have GmbH and you're very well recognized. That's the main thing, that you're registered in Germany to do AE work. Construction, right? The hospital that we're constructing out there is a joint venture between Zublin and Gilbane. Okay, so I always will tell you, encourage you that sometimes, we're building these projects and Germans do a quality job, first class job, but sometimes they get stuck at the US regulations, right? And we have forged a relationship sometimes who's helping us for projects. If there's a US entity there, they can actually help them to meet those sometimes crazy requirements, but very important requirements, meeting NFPA and ABA and all that stuff. So ATFP. It's important that you do that, but these are indirect projects in all those areas. Okay, all these will be done, will be funded. Let's go next. This is a big one, right? So right now, looks like it will be funded. This is a big project and multi-years, if we awarded in 24, we'll be building it till 27 and a half, like part of 28. Massive project, but design is nearly done, okay? And we're gonna obligate the money also this year. That's our plan. Let's go next. The last slide here, not last, but a couple of other slides, and then I'll have some footnotes here. So, nothing new here, right? I introduced this last time too, but I've added a couple of things in there. And that's why we have the working group in Italy, by the way. We were part, four or five of us were part of that working group where we said, hey, what Sharice talked about, let's talk about inflation. How are you controlling costs? By the way, our costs are all over the place. Somebody says 10 million, the other guy says 15 million, the other guy says 5 million. It's all over the place. And sometimes we go not so good and we award it to sometimes the lowest bidder, right? Even though it's best value, but then we find out the guy can't do the job for that money. So we got to figure that out. Okay, that is like working group level. In Naples, we'll talk about. And then, of course, wherever we go, no, I got to caveat this. For the last 6 to 8 months, this is super important that if you don't know that, German government publishes the inflation rates and their economic price index every quarter of the calendar year. Okay, every quarter of the calendar year. And we have an EPA clause in a couple of projects we have. Economic price adjustment. This happened when Ukraine war broke out and all the prices were freaking sky high. But they published it 4 quarters in a row, and the prices have only gone up 0.3%, okay, which is going back to pre-COVID days. So I want to let you know this is what we have from the German government, and our cost estimate is being relied on that. But it's super important that people, when we meet in Italy, in the meantime, do our homework, come to a table and say, how do you do your estimating? Where's your record? Is the USACE folks talking to Huntsville about Europe because they have a cost factor and nobody's talking to them. They got a 1391, the giant freaking thing, and all of a sudden we get it. And it doesn't match what we're doing here. So what I'm saying is super important. Our 1391s get messed up sometimes. Awards get messed up. IGs get messed up. And your estimates also get messed up. So strongly will tell you that we focus on that. And early on, by the way, hey, a lot of you are planning contractors. Like, in other words, you do planning, right? Everybody knows if you build a house, if you don't have the plan and the budget right, you're going to go wrong. So the planning charrettes and the planning product 1391s is where we're going wrong. I'm letting you know, we're going wrong there. A lot of times we forget the environmental. I'm not blaming anybody. We're all together here. We forget sometimes host nation requirements. We forget sometimes environmental requirements. And especially our partners that Council and you have the contracts in their hands, they will not be aware. So I'm just want situational awareness. Let's go next. You know, we are unfortunately not in charge of our destiny. We're not in charge because we don't have a congressman here. We don't have a senator here, right? So we rely on the people across the pond to make things happen for us. And sometimes, you know, the exchange rate kills us. Sometimes it helps us. So it goes up and down because it's set by Congress. I'm not talking about daily exchange rate. Daily exchange rate only impacts projects like NAF, right? 99% of projects on Milcon, that budget is set by Congress. So, but still, it goes up and down. Some of the 1391s are 5-6 years old, and they get into the hopper. All of a sudden, we get it, and we say, well, "How the heck happened here? This doesn't mean anything." Anyway, so host nation relationships are super important, and I just want to let you know that we, the Corps, lead it. We award the contract, but we are really not leaders all the time. Remote areas, we rely on you. You're the face of the U.S. government and collectively representing the U.S. To that host nation, whether you're Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Bulgaria, Norway, wherever you are, and you go there on your own. We ask you that you also let us know what is not going right and be professional about it. Tell us that we need to be professional about it because sometimes the host nation do come back. They say, well, so-and-so showed up, we didn't know. And some A's come back and say, well, they're waiting for XY document and they haven't received it for 6 months. So we are partners, one team together. It's not one over the other. Without us, you will have difficulties. Without you, we'll have super difficulties, right? So we're one team together, whether you're AEs, designers, contractors, constructions, whatever. Let's go next. The last slide I have. Look, I want to introduce a brand new topic. My goal was that I will introduce at least one topic, not two topics. So I will go to topic number 2. Okay, I already talked about it, right? Topic number 3 is just information to you. Look for that information. There's a revision to that 385-1-1, and you should Google it and look into that because there's some changes there. Let's go to item number 1. So the item number 1, okay, I've seen demonstrations, and I'll tell you that I was very impressed. Some of you are doing it. Government is not doing it, at least at the working level, because we don't get to know. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I'll talk to Major General Punkhauser and John Kim. I don't know what they're aware of it, but let me tell you that if our core labs or somewhere, Huntsville, if they're doing the AI, we are not aware down to the working level here in the district. But let me tell you the demonstration, right? So we might pull a demonstration off in Naples. We might have somebody there. If he comes or not, I don't know. We lost contact with him, but he will come back. He will do actual demonstration. So here's what I tell you. In design and construction, so if you 90% of stuff is vertical construction. When you run that program, when you run your design through it for review process, I'm telling you, you will find out through the AI process, which I saw, especially structure, 60 to 70% of the stuff you don't have to review. It's yes or no, and the machine can do that. It's less than 30% of the stuff that you say, oh my God, yeah, I got to do color of the tile, I got to do X, Y, Z or whatever. Fascinating. Checklist, 3-4 pages. I'm looking for a 3-story building, this many square feet, I want basement, checklist. Put that in there, right? Boom. I will tell you less than 60 seconds, you have three options, which I saw, 3-story building. Okay, it's not like pipe dream. I'm talking about this is reality that's happening right now. And we want to demonstrate that if we can through this guy in Naples. So planting a seed in your head. I know that Chris, too, you have said that Corps has, or the government has something regulation-wise against that, right now? Is that right? Army policy, yeah. Yeah, I'm just planting a seed in there. Those guys there and commander there, they can go back and test the waters there. What are the policies? And their policies in the past, but this is advancement. This is a real advancement in technology that we should be leveraging into. Also during construction, AI during construction. Our contractor very likely in hospital, every little room when the vertical construction is done, he's going to put a QR code on the wall during the construction. That's what he told me. And you go there and then QR code, especially for the workers, and you pull a QR code that can tell you electrical, mechanical, what are you looking for? And then he posts that to his headquarters in Stuttgart, say, hey, this is a conflict here. And at real time, you can go make changes. Yeah, this is just not AI, but I'm talking technology-wise, right? That's what's happening right now as we speak. So all I can tell you is it's very important that we look into that because we'll be left behind, okay? You all, I'm talking to the industry here, you all probably are faster than we ever will be. So I'll strongly tell you, look into it, let us know, let's come together, let's talk about it. Before I do my last set of instructions there, I really want to open the floor to Chris too. If you can just address us here for a few minutes, but what are the innovative ideas coming there and what should we be aware of that may impact FY24 execution or maybe better or whatever? Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Lala. I think a couple things that have already been discussed, I'd like to foot stomp, and that's Lala talked a little about schedules for jocks. Colonel Kent's challenged the command to draw a sharper distinction between complex and non-complex construction. So you can expect our organization to partner more with contract support brigades in the future on having them do more non-complex construction and us focus on engineered solutions. That way we can put our energies to all this work we need to do in the future. And Colonel Kent perhaps can address that from a command perspective on a question later if you'd like. I think something else we're working real hard to do is with our customers to bring more discipline to the process as possible. Lala alluded to the challenges of funding, but to pull more work earlier into the fiscal year. Nathan talked about the real heavy lift, about a 200% increase in the AE work last year. Of course, the way that hit us, almost all that's executed in the fourth quarter. That's not a recipe for success. It's hard to escape that cycle for a lot of reasons, but we're working hard to pull that back earlier in the fiscal year so we're not putting so much work on the street at the same time. We think we can better optimize you folks in the market by not conflicting you with which one of these pieces of work should I pursue, particularly I think on the construction side where you have things like bonds in some cases and BLGs in place. I know you can't pursue everything, so we'd like to stagger work more effectively so you can offer on things and we can get a better mix. So those are the main things I'd like to offer, Lala. We had some, we turn over about 25% of our workforce, 25% a year. My organization's no different, so I welcome your visiting us and meeting the players when these requirements come out. Make sure you respond to the sources sought. So that's your opportunity to provide input on what we're trying to do and also create the relationship you need to with the contracting officer in my office. Thank you, Laura.
Hey, Roger, do you have anything to add that we missed here? Okay, thank you so much. Hey, the other thing that I would ask you for huge help. Look, we succeeded after years that we try what Nathan alluded to. As soon as possible, we have a requirement, we post it. And you should see it, like the tone process, upcoming stuff. So you have resources that are very, very constrained, so you know upcoming work. If you don't see it, please raise your flag, because sometimes we are missing it by the mark of it. I'm not talking about Nathan's group either. Same thing goes for MATOC task force. I talked to Chris several times, and we should be posting construction MATOC task force upfront. 6 months in advance. This is upcoming. This is coming. This is coming. so people can align resources because, I've been here all these years, right? The funding does not come until freaking March, May, April timeframe. That's the way it is, right? We get some funding, but we don't get it. And therefore, what Chris was talking about, mad rush of the last year, right? But we should be arming you and finding a way of letting you know what's upcoming. And sometimes I think we find innovative ways of advertising. We got a SAT statement somewhere and we do it. Please ask that over and over again. Don't come in the last month in September and say, oh, I got 25 freaking RFPs and I don't know what to do with it, which might happen. Okay. All right. So lessons learned, AAR wise, I have collected some notes here from you all and some of our people. So I'm just going to go, not going to detail, but I'm going to like talk it through. Host nation requirements, super important. You must somehow forge a relationship with the host nation AEs that you address those host nation requirements. I mean, if you have capability, that's fine. But I'm telling you that we, the U.S., come over here, U.S. contractors, U.S. AEs, right, find it difficult. Okay, get good partners in Poland and Germany, especially because 3/4 of the work is in Germany. Okay. The other thing is, which is super important because I would use the harsh word like it's not working. It's validate the scope before you sign the task order. Validate the freaking scope. Okay. Because several task orders are awarded in September. Here we come in March, April, or whatever, December. We say, oh my God, this is totally different than what the task order was awarded. This happened many times, and we failed miserably. And this needs to happen. Sometimes we don't have time, but you know what? Raise the flag. Raise the flag. I was talking to Nathan in the car, like, raise the flag. Both sides, like, hey, it's not working. We got to do it soon. The next important part, which we have got dividends, is hold scoping meetings. Demand it. You have a right to demand it. Whether it's a mate talk or a job, even though we do pre-proposal meeting. I was talking to Scott here last night. It was good that he mentioned that sometimes we go line by line by line by line, like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? What the hell is this? We do that sometimes, but not always, right? When we have time. Scoping meeting and hold scoping meeting rigorously, whether you have a task order or a construction task order. See contracts, we end up doing it, right? But that is super important because let me tell you, we have revised our scope so many times that we say, oh no, man, this doesn't work. Please do that. Raise the flag. Then what we don't do, right, I think we should do is identify risks. You should write a letter to us. Hey, I'm just letting you know that these are risks before we award a task order. We don't do a risk analysis that deeply together. We will do our risk analysis in the core, show it to Kent, put it in the drawer. That's the end of that. But you would need to do it together. You need to raise the flag risk analysis. Now, we are mandated for certain projects that we do CSRA, what is it, construction schedule risk analysis or whatever. We have to do that for mega projects, but not these $5 million, $10 million projects, right? But I think we should doing it like simplified one. So we say, oh yeah, performance period won't work. You're asking to be done in 2 years, it'll be like 3 years. Look for partnering, right? Chris too says that all the time, over and over to us, like, hey, have partnering. Have you done partnering? Well, we haven't. 50% we don't do it. We need to do it. And especially in the remote locations, right? When you go out there, let us know when you're out there so that we get some feedback from you. Whether you're in Chinku in Romania or NSTA in Bulgaria, whatever, we need to know what happened. Or in remote Africa region, okay? Please let us know because most of the time we need to know, and you're representing us, sometimes we have messages for you to give to those countries. So one team, we have succeeded. I'm looking at what positive things are coming up. Positive things are fantastic. Human brain only looks at negative things, especially the military leadership says, what the hell happened here? Well, sir, this is bad, but look at the 100 things we went right with, right? So celebrate success, always do that. Doesn't matter how much pressure you got, because we all are doing difficult tasks. Construction is not easy, right? Our customers or stakeholders, I call it correctly, we don't have customers, we have stakeholders. We got a stake in it. They'll change their mind. During construction, during design, 95% design, here 10 comments, it changes the whole thing. Raise it right there and then, because sometimes we need to follow a discipline process called, our discipline process of change management board. Okay, look for that. I'm planting a seed on your side. Look for that. our PM says, do this doors, 10 doors, remove this wall, just say, hey, you have a change management board? Was it approved at a higher level? Look for that. So that you help us, right? I'm not saying our people aren't doing a job. Sometimes we overlook it. And then comes somebody else, and here comes a general officer from somewhere and says, why the hell did you delay for 2 years? Well, we had 10 changes. Well, who approved it? Well, that's not the right guy. So I'm just letting you know, we need to be disciplined here. We need your help. Other than that, I'm done, talked enough, open to questions, sir. Thank you so much. Okay.
I'll be facilitating the questions part, but there's one thing I want to make clear and get out of the way and just address the elephant in the room, the cat. The cat, the buck stops with me. I'm responsible for audio visual, apologize for the cat, but I think we can take the cat as a symbol. Working in Europe is kind of like herding cats. You have so many countries, so many stakeholders. And in order to make that mission a success in Europe, it's hurting those cats. And one thing that helps us to do that are events like today. It's built on trust and transparency and collaboration. And as long as I've been in Europe, Lalit has been doing this presentation as commensurate with that spirit of collaboration. And so thank you very much. Thank you, Colonel Kent, as well. I think the turnout that we see today should be gratitude enough, and certainly an indication of industry's gratitude. So with that, we'll get over to questions for our presenters that we had today, and I'll just be monitoring online to see if we have any, but if anybody has them in the room, please step forward and ask your question. Thank you.
Peter. Good afternoon, I'm Ricky from Phoenix. Do you foresee the EPA cost continuing in upcoming contracts, and if so, what's the case?
So I'll turn that over to Chris too for direct contracts. For indirect, I can tell you the answer is no. We are a stable situation. We solicited the last 6 projects for Dodea, and nobody wanted a EPA clause. We ended that with a hospital project at Springdalen Elementary School that we awarded that had the EPA clause. That's it. Nothing else. But direct, Chris, if you can address that part.
18 months ago or so, we formulated.
So we, 18 months, 2 years ago, I lose track of time, but we formulated our own approach to an EPA clause in the Europe district. It was centric to Germany, which had, has the best, I would say, available economic data from the government to look at things on a quarterly basis. We socialized that, and we made the determination it's probably best not to implement it at that point in time for a variety of reasons. I mean, one of the large ones is we're seeing the risk build into the proposals anyways. I don't have the information off the top of my head, but we have so many ATRs in the organization where we have to go back to Congress to get additional monies or indicators that industry's responded by pricing some risk in there. It'd be really nice to strip it out, but we think we're probably going to stay the course now. Always open to revisiting that and expanding it, potentially look at other markets, but probably not likely that we're going to do what the German government does anytime soon.
Okay, there was another hand raised there somewhere, but yeah, right there, Mark.
Hi, Margaret Burcham, WSP. My question's directed to Chris, and he brought up about the issue about how difficult it is when everything gets awarded all within the same month, and it's hard on us, it's hard on the district, it's not the best for the success of the project. I'm wondering what kind of, I mean, you aren't doing it that way because you want to, so what ideas do you have for trying to get away from that?
It's a little out of our lane. It's really Lalit's and a program's lead, but one of the things we made a lot of progress on the last year is we took the term of art within the Corps. We took on more project orders than we ever had before in the district. So essentially customers brought a current fiscal year resource monies to us to develop a package, if you will, a requirements package. to construct, award for construction the next year. And so and there's some rules to that, but that enables to start work on these things in a previous earlier fiscal year and be prepared to award them should we get money from Congress in a timely fashion. I think everybody's aware of the challenge that comes with new starts and things like that. But there's every indication that's what we're trying to accomplish is very positive. The district, Nathan can talk in more detail about engineering, but my sense, my observation is we're doing a lot more work in the first quarter than we previously had been. In my organization, it's up about 25%. So I see some north-south head nods with AE firms working with us. So that's Margaret, the first big step. Now we're going to be dependent upon how we're resourced with construction monies from Congress as to whether that'll pay off. But that's an example of something we're doing right now. Over.
We have a question from online. Can you share more regarding the relationship between, it just moved, between the Polish government and the Corps of Engineers regarding PPI and how the Corps of Engineers influences, coordinates requirements?
That's
Short
definitely a question. So that's a really, Eric McFadden was here. He could talk for about 45 minutes on that. Eric McFadden is a USACE colonel who's working at the UCOM headquarters as the program manager for all things Polish provided infrastructure. To explain it as simply as I can, there's an EDCA, Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, that was put in place a couple of years ago. That's when we brought Eric into the fold to really start working that. But it's a very detailed document that lays out where Polish provided infrastructure, like it's got certain locations. It's all very well documented in that. And then from there, there's a MOU that governs the infrastructure portion, because the EDCA is more than just infrastructure. So if you step it down to the MOU portion, that part lays out the process by which we do Polish provided infrastructure. And then there's a whole governance setup that is in line with EDCA through the MOU down to execution. And so I would basically what we call the ISP co-chairs, the infrastructure subcommittee co-chairs are the UCOM J44, and there's an equivalent to the colonel, senior colonel on the Polish side. That is really where the nuts and bolts of how Polish provided infrastructure gets hashed out. They run program management reviews quarterly. The next one is the last week of February. And they'll sit down and they'll have it's an auditorium similar to this, auditorium full of people. The co-chairs are at the front, and they'll step through any issues that are out there with anything that's in construction, anything that's in design, and they also talk future program. And so I think from a relationship with the Polish government standpoint, that is a lot more complex. But from an infrastructure standpoint, I think those PMRs and then that interplay between the U.S. co-chair and the Polish co-chair is really where that plays out. And so Eric McFadden leads that effort on behalf of UCOM every day. And then we have a team led by Emil Petrie, who's our program manager for it, that makes all that go. But I don't know if that fully answers your questions or if you have a...
That sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll also be doing probably a program on PPI throughout the year. Yeah, as well. We have another question. Any possible update on future Italy design and construction program? One or two words on that? Anybody?
I'll say something.
Okay.
Hey, whoever that wrote the question, talk to Bernie Cruz.
Ron Clark.
Well, we can't tell you. All I can tell you is what they tell us, right? The Corps of Engineers is doing mainly SRM work in Italy design and construction. And we do it every year. Last year we did a lot. So it's mainly MATOCs and job task orders. Overall plan, I don't know. We got a list last week from the DPW, like 130 projects on there, or 120, I don't know. And they're small to medium to large.
So that's the Italy program as of last week, okay? Goes to $30-40 million. You want to say something?
Well, I was gonna say the Delta and ACP. I don't know if you want to talk.
Oh, go ahead, no, go
Yep. So while it down, almost all of our work in Italy is SRM is NAVFAC is the DCA for Italy. We do have one MILCON project that's coming up though, and that is an access control point at Delta Inn. And so a long explanation, but based on traffic and trying to get response forces to the APOD and or the aerial port of debarkation in a timely manner, there was a requirement to create another access control point for the base. NAVFAC basically at the Army Africa's request or CTAF's request, and with our ability to do it, NAVFAC gave that requirement to us. So we do have one MILCON coming up in Italy, which is new and different.
I do want to make an administrative announcement as well. This session has been recorded. The slides will be shared as well, like all of our programs that we have. So if you have comments about information that wasn't able to be seen on the slides, you'll be able to get a copy of those coming up soon. Any other questions from the group? There's no more online.
People are hungry now.
Okay, yeah, I'll turn it back over to Brian. Brian.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, thank you very much for. So I say, thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to come and look up. I'd like to present you with one of our senior friends.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think you have a lot of our coins. I say that was getting back to you. Good catch, mate. So thank you very much for coming to talk to us.
Yeah.
And thank you very much. That concludes. Sorry, yes. That concludes our meeting today. Thank you very much, everybody that's contributed to bring it together. Thanks to the board. Thank you, Chris, for his sterling work in getting everybody on the base. For our next meeting. Don't forget the membership survey. The QR codes, like we don't need to wait for it to get an email. Reach out. We actually call it the Members Plus survey because we know that quite a few people are members of the post. Talk to us and talk to Chris about joining. But feel free, we'd like to input, we'd like to feedback. And we thank you very much.